Okay, recap for Friday, the 1st of May 2026. Um, Yesterday I explained today is going to be bullish, right? Don't expect any heavy retracements, especially in this. Why? Because this is our balanced price range. There's no reason for us to come lower below the midpoint of this, really. Right? This 15-minute time frame, right? Just essentially, this whole thing is a balanced price range. If we're gonna come, we're gonna come take these lows. We could have had another sweep here, right, at market open, and then continue higher, whatever. That's essentially what I was looking for, right? A reason at market open to participate going higher, right? To clear these highs and essentially just make a new all-time high. That's what I was looking for. But as you can see, the market opens at 9:30. We visit the upper quadrant of the opening range gap and we just shoot up and we have liquidity lined up at the bottom. So when this is the case, right, especially once we create the first presented fair value gap and just leave it open, it can set up one of the few models, right? And most of the time there'll be a model where it's gonna go there, right? It's gonna go up to somewhere, right? Because in this case it's all-time high. I can't tell you where somewhere is, but it's gonna go up there. It will stall for almost 40 minutes, right? So, and it normally starts at 10. So, like, as everything was playing out, it should have stalled a bit longer. And then, if that happened, we would come down all the way to first presented fair value gap. And if it was gonna be bearish after that, then we would actually come down and sweep basically all of this, and essentially it's just a market maker sell model, right? And we'd come all the way down and then come back up and just hold for the day, or come take back the high, or if it's the first presented fair value gap case, it'd come all the way down and we'd use the rest of the day going up to take these highs again, right? And that's it. We would not go nowhere. But today was different, right? And again, it's one of the first cases I've seen it. Actually, it starts to stall, but then it goes down to just take, a quick liquidity, right? Just one swing and then continue going higher, right? So I'm gonna explain my trade for today. So I was just looking for the model, right, to find out. The only problem is normally there'd be some sort of gap that's obvious, right? That she's just holding price. When it's stolen, I'll never go below it. I can't find that gap right now. That's why I use this wick, right? You can see that's the wick. I'm treating this wick as the gap, right? That's holding price. And I'm waiting for a closure below it. But 10:30 is not the time for it. That's why I knew there was kind of warning signs. I still took a small entry on this because it looked too good to not take, right? The short, in case it might want to do it, go lower, and then it will stall. And then once we get to time between 10:40 and 10:50 to go again and then fully continue the dump. I want to get in early. That's the case, right? So I enter short, and then I add here, and it goes all the way down, and I notice it doesn't give another add in into this. So that is no signatures of a market maker sell model, right? As in, for the full range, it's more of like this is eventually the market maker sell model. So once you go all the way down here, and I kept adding, my position wasn't that good. So once it was coming up, I was like, this already looks sus, right? It should have not even dumped at this time. It should actually stalled for 10 minutes. So I just closed the position early for the small profit, right? And once it came to time, right now we're at 10:50. I'm watching, are we gonna go down? It normally never does this, so that's why I'm like, I'll give it the chance. Once we come here, again, I take the short entry, goes to the midpoint, comes back, goes to the midpoint, and then I'm literally have a time stop loss. I'm like, is either if in this candle doesn't break the midpoint of this wick, or if it goes and closes above the midpoint of this inversion, then I'm out of the trade. So it does that and I close. So basically, it's break even. I took a small profit, I lost a small profit. And that's it. And then I'm like, okay, theoretically, because we've done that, we're gonna go up and clean them highs up, right? As you can see, we do that. However, I'm not gonna go against the model, right? I'm not gonna go against the day because technically, technically, we should come back even lower. But the signs that we're not gonna come lower was there. So if I was gonna take a long, it was gonna be a lower probability because it's gonna be based on something I've seen, and I don't want to do that. Now that I've seen this, I guess it's plausible to take the long, but realistically, what am I really taking it based on, right? I would have preferred something here, right? Come back and revisit this, um, just anything really, right? But I'm glad that I didn't take a full loss, right? I stopped it when I knew it's likely not to pan out and it's just not worth it. And after that, you can see we come up, we start stalling, we were holding this wick again, and eventually just pop up and take these highs. And after taking these highs, look at this garbage manipulation where we actually just dump. So eventually we kept taking um, sell side. Like that's why we didn't need to come all the way down. And this is where I would expect this to have the entry if we're going to continue higher. And you see they can take it all the way back down to it, come back higher, but there's no reason to take that high. And I'm guessing there'll be an SMT of some sort there. Where is it? The 11 of them. Oh, okay. No, we actually don't have the SMT. Yes, actually kept the highs. That's interesting. So I guess that was the SMT though. Goes for this run. And initially, not initially, this is what I expected, right? Like as you can see, what ES has done is come down and take all the lows, right? That's what I expected for both of them to do. But you can see NQ held its way. It didn't even bother coming to the lows. I'm talking them lows were like these are London lows, you can see, right? So there was already an SMT in that sense with these 7 lows. Just double check where, right? So there was that SMT. So that's why I expected at least NQ would come to first presentation, and ES, if it wants to clear and complete the full market, make a sell model, it can do it, and NQ can fail at the OTE of the market make a sell model, which is here. So like it's both valid, and that's why my expectation for us to come higher, if you look at the same chart, it's technically going all the way here. That's what I expected for this, and then coming lower and here in first presentation. You can see ES essentially did that, which is coming like this part was this expectation coming basically all the way up because we didn't do it in time, and then after that start the dump again, and then eventually just clear out the lows that it needs to clear out. So it's just garbage market, you know. And you can see NQ held it. NQ just bullish. It didn't want to come down there, which it should have, but you know, disappointed. So whatever. So I essentially just realized it's not worth trading because the market conditions are not ideal. As you can see, NQ holding this, ES doesn't. So just get out of the market. There's just no point. But yeah, normally this wouldn't happen, and the easiest way it would normally stop for 10 more minutes, and then it will start the same thing. It's gonna start dumping. So there you go. Anyway, that's the market. But there's really not much to say other than the garbage today. If you took this short, it's fair enough. You know, like if I was more confident in taking the short, full what do you call it? Full position, But I'm gonna say this because this happens sometimes, right? Where it would do this, it would look obvious, but this next candle would come back all the way up. But because it left it, that's why I was like, okay, this potentially, like it would do this. Next candle will just eat this whole sippy, right? It will never gain trade, and then it will come back to stalling again. And then once it's time, it'll actually break below. So that's just a note, and that's why I took the short. That smaller position. So this was the only viable trade. I did take it, but I didn't whatever just ruined it because my target was slightly lower. So let's see, almost 100 points. That's not too bad. Anyway, that's the market recap. So.